If I told you that Ed Boon recently held a guest character DLC voting poll, would you believe me? Maybe, maybe not. Well, guess what? He did. It was actually 4 days ago, the day that we discussed the results for my personal Combat Pack 3 voting poll here on the channel. Boon took to, of all places, Threads. Yeah, remember Threads, the Twitter clone that was created by Instagram? Not on X, not on Blue Sky, not on insert any random social media website. Threads! Of all places, Threads, he pieced together essentially every single guest character we've had from MK9 up until this point, and they're duking it out in this tournament bracket, and we haven't gotten an update since the first day that Boon actually came out and shared this voting poll. So what's up? It's your boy Dynasty back with that Mortal Kombat 1 MK Uno cringe on this Wednesday afternoon. Yeah, I've not seen anybody discuss this, which is kind of nuts. Really can't blame them though, because again, this dropped on a really random Threads post, and it's just really weird because why is Boon doing this? Why is he gauging the interest of a single guest character to win this bracket? It's almost as if hypothetically, there is a Combat Pack 3 DLC, and NetherRealm is trying to gauge the interest on what type of guest character they should put in this Combat Pack 3 for Mortal Kombat 1. Should it be a superhero, an 80s action movie star? Should it be a horror character? Should it be a video game guest character? Regardless, we gotta talk about it today. Also, worth pointing out that I spent some time to actually create, yet again, another guest character DLC voting poll. I pieced together who I think makes the most sense, and trust, a lot of this is probably just a pipe dream. Like, seeing Akuma in Mortal Kombat would be great, but I don't think it's gonna happen, but he's still part of my voting poll, so I'm gonna do a deep dive into everything Boon had to say in regards to this mysterious guest character voting poll. Then afterwards, give you guys my voting poll and actually have linked down below a place where you guys can select your 6 guest characters for a hypothetical Combat Pack 3. So before we break all this stuff down, you guys do know the drill by now. It takes you a second. Drop a like on the video. Without you, these MK videos do not happen. So thank you for still choosing your boy to be your go-to for everything Mortal Kombat. And with that said, let me stop yapping and let's do an overview of this guest character voting poll on Threads that Boon did damn near 4 or 5 days ago. Alright, so here we go. Here is the post that was made again by Ed Boon over on Threads. I'll actually have this linked down below. He kicked things off by saying, Round 1 poll. Who is the best Mortal Kombat guest DLC fighter ever? Cast your vote for who you feel ended up being the better DLC fighter in these 8 1v1 matchups. Don't vote from the hype you had when you first heard they would be added to the MK roster. Instead, vote for how much fun you had fighting as each guest character. Starting with Mortal Kombat 9 MK 2011, we, NetherRealm Studios, started adding characters outside of the MK universe as guest DLC fighters. Since then, we've been incredibly privileged to add 17 plus classic pop culture guest fighters to the Mortal Kombat roster, starting from Mortal Kombat 9 through Mortal Kombat 1. We want to hear from you, so let's have some fun and determine who is your favorite guest fighter to ever appear in a Mortal Kombat game. So, there you go. Obviously, in the midst of all these threads, these posts, what do you call these posts? You can see here we have Homelander facing off against Spawn, and the superhero fatigue is real. They've been oversaturating the guest character market for Mortal Kombat 1. Everybody is tired of them. However, the coolest hero, in air quotes, is always going to be Spawn. I don't care what you say. Todd McFarlane created, arguably, the coolest caped crusader ever, and I stand by that. So Spawn destroying Homelander, which I think isn't really shocking. Next up, though, we had Ghostface against RoboCop, and Ghostface overwhelmingly destroys Peter Weller's RoboCop, which I think is kind of bittersweet because I actually really did enjoy RoboCop back in Mortal Kombat 11. However, Ghostface, for that first week, was so broken. That was when, like, the, tide kind of turned for Mortal Kombat 1. That patch obviously brought some balance a week out after he, got released for early access. But initially, funny how the guest character, the most polarizing thing in Mortal Kombat. I hate guest, I love guest. It was Ghostface that kind of made this game get some positive PR, it seemed, for the first time in months. Now, below that, we have Jason Voorhees facing off against Leatherface. And again, to no one's surprise, Jason just destroyed Leatherface. Jason was somebody that everybody was clamoring for to be in a Mortal Kombat game for a long time. Leatherface kind of surprised everybody when that trailer came out and we saw him pull out, I think it was like the Deadwoods, the wood stage back at MKX. Nobody was really expecting that. It was really shocking. I remember all the reactions kind of being like, fucking Leatherface? I think at the time there was like a reboot movie in the works or something that ended up getting canceled, so that was kind of like the cross-marketing aspect and probably reasoning behind his inclusion, but Jason's the GOAT. I'm sorry, but he is. Leatherface, you are the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I am a Texan, but kind of is what it is. Now, T-1000 and Terminator back in Mortal Kombat 11 T-800 are actually tied 50-50, which is interesting because, again, Boon is doing a bracket, which I haven't shared with you guys yet. What's he going to do when they tie? It's not the only tie. Predator from MKX facing off against Kratos, the console-exclusive PS3 character from God of War, both 50-50. What are the chances that between 233 votes and 230 votes, we split? Probably not too high, but it happened. So do with that information as you will. Making our way to this one right here. Alien from Mortal Kombat X facing off against Peacemaker. And again, fatigue is real. We're tired of the heroes. We all enjoyed Alien. And Alien was pretty fun. I really did like the Xenomorph back in the day. I had a lot of fun when that character launched. I believe I streamed for like a week straight using Xenomorph. It almost seemed like that was probably going to be one of my mains for that game. So yeah, had a lot of fun with Alien back in the day. Omni-Man destroying Conan though, so though the fatigue's probably real, nobody really cared for Conan the Barbarian. Look at that, 18%. I'm a 30-year-old man and I could care less about this market. If you're in your 40s, I know you guys love the Arnold, but for me, I really wasn't too ecstatic to see him make another comeback via a guest character. Then you have Freddy facing off against Rambo. Sly gets destroyed this time around again. Losing to a horror guest character in Freddy, which is also kind of up for debate because a lot of people do not like the likeness they used for MK9 Freddy. And in case you think I'm joking, here is like the official profile for Ed Boon over on Threads. It's noobd just like on X. He's got the verified check mark. It's attached to his official Instagram account. And he actually posted this this right here. Let me go invisible. Here's the full bracket in all of its glory. And you can see we're going to have a winner at the end of it. I actually photoshopped the results from the thread post a couple of days ago. I'll get that for you guys next. I should probably go invisible here so Ed Boon can screenshot this. Here you go, Ed. Feel free to take a screenshot of this and send it to Ed Boon and say, hey, Ed, Dynasty went ahead and photoshopped the results of your poll. So for round 2, we're going to have Spawn facing off against Ghostface, which I'm pretty sure Spawn is going to win. It's going to be close, though. Then we get Jason against one of the Terminators. Jason's going to destroy either or. Then we get Predator or Kratos facing off against Alien. I think this one could be a toss-up for either or. This one's going to be tricky. I'm going to go with, I don't know how he's going to handle the tie. So because of that, I'm going to say Alien's going to win, though it's probably going to end up being like Predator. Omni-Man facing off against Freddy. I do think that Omni-Man's probably going to beat Freddy. I'm only saying that because, again, a lot of people do not like how they use like the reboot Freddy for the likeness. I don't know. For me, it is what it is. I'll always have a soft spot for the MK9 guest characters, and it's Freddy damn Krueger. Come on, man. So I would like Freddy to win, but I think Omni-Man's probably going to. So there you go, Boon. I did your homework for you. I'll even zoom in a little bit more. There you go. Boom. Perfecto. Now, what I think's really interesting is the next day, Boon went over to Blue Sky, a website that I've only used like one time. And he posted this. This is a test poll to see if third-party poll app works. Hamburger, hot dogs, pizza, broccoli. And he had this with the results. And you can see right here, the poll is officially ended. And pizza beat hamburger, broccoli, and hot dogs. So it's interesting how Boon's trying to gauge what website has the best voting poll option. I don't know, man. What has he got cooking up his sleeve? Because again, this is happening after the Threads post. So far, I don't think he's done a voting poll on X as of late, but he has in the past, and those go viral, and typically, they kind of allude to things we end up getting in the future, which is why I think this is something that is worth pointing out, and again, no one's really talked about this. Why is Boon trying to figure out how to use voting polls on these websites conveniently right when your boy Dynasty's doing one for the Combat Pack 3? I'm not saying that I triggered Boon to do this, but it is awfully a weird coincidence. Tinfoil hat theory, that's mine right there. Now that means it's time for our final topic of the day. Obviously, it's almost been about a week or so since we did the Combat Pack 3 voting poll here on the channel. Positive feedback, support on all platforms. YouTube, it blew up on X. A lot of people were talking about the results we got, so I figured, you know what, because even in the comment section of that video, you guys wanted me to do one for a hypothetical guest character in the Combat Pack 3, let's do one. And of course, before we even talk about the Combat Pack 3, keep in mind, as of at least December, when Fate Unknown, the leaker who has never been wrong, made that final post on the Mortal Kombat League subreddit, he confirmed a bunch of Mortal Kombat characters: Sonya Blade, Cassie Cage, Kano, Jade, Kung Jin, and one single guest character. So hypothetically, right, it was in the cards as of even just a few months ago before it was scrapped, allegedly. We're probably gonna get a guest character. I understand you guys hate guest characters, some of you diehard Mortal Kombat fans, I get it, but it's just kind of par for the course. Accept it. It ain't gonna change. It moves the needle. It's how they make their damn money. So before you leave a fucking paragraph in the comment telling me I'm not a real fucking Mortal Kombat fan, dude, I don't make the rules. I just work with them. So with that said, now that we've got that out of the way, in a perfect world, I wouldn't want these characters, but fuck it. We're not in that perfect world. Gotta choose 6. Now, unlike the last voting poll, I took off the other option because I feel like I kind of gauged every single option that made the most sense while still also probably not being plausible or possible. So I'm going to do a rundown of everybody. The Bride from Kill Bill, Isaac Clarke from Dead Space, Michael Myers from Halloween, John Wick aka Keanu Reeves, Talion from Lord of the Rings Middle-earth, Pyramid Head from Silent Hill, Ciri from The Witcher, Judge Dredd from the comics movies, Alex Mercer from Prototype, Doomslayer from Doom, Dante from DMC, Raziel from Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver franchise, Fulgore from Killer Instinct, Jago from Killer Instinct, Nemesis from Resident Evil, Geralt of Rivia from The Witcher, Xena the Warrior Princess, Candyman aka Tony Todd, RIP, Sweet Tooth Twisted Metal, Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden, Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War. Yes, I'm even including console exclusive characters because why not? Trying to cover every avenue here. Akuma, I mentioned earlier, from Street Fighter, Rick Taylor from Splatterhouse, Ash Williams from Evil Dead, who better win this damn poll. Just saying. Lobo from DC Comics, Jackie Estacado from The Darkness, Rorschach from Watchmen, Juliet Starling from Lollipop Chainsaw, Jigsaw from Saw, Pinhead from Hellraiser, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Rain from Blood Rain, Chucky from Child's Play, Neo from The Matrix. Yes, 2 Keanu Reeves options because I know some of you guys want either or. Bayonetta, owned by Sega, Raiden from Metal Gear, Kazuya Mishima from Tekken, Mad Max because that is owned by WB Games, Duke Nukem because you gotta have the Duke saying funny one-liners and shooting those crazy projectiles and making this feel like Injustice 2, Morgan from Darkstalkers, Pennywise from It, Batman from DC Comics, Shredder from TMNT. So there you go. Again, could have given you the other option, but I just kind of wanted to focus on things that I've seen in the comments of my YouTube videos for a long time. Believe it or not, I actually did a wish list in a top 10 on who I'd like to see as a guest character in Mortal Kombat 1. I'm gonna have a card on the screen right now. It's a pretty long video. I break down my top 10. Gonna be pretty similar to that when I actually make my selections in just a few seconds, but I even went back to like my Mortal Kombat 11 voting polls for guest characters, saw who I selected, then saw the comments in that video, and just compiled everybody that you guys were asking for over and over and over again. So that list, I think, is probably the definitive best fucking list you could have came up with. Given my data from what I've seen in my community, the Mortal Kombat community, I think that covers pretty much most, if not all, areas. Now, with that said, I think it's time for me to select my options here. Choose 6, though probably only get 1. Alright, fuck it, let's do it. Number 1, Doomslayer. Rip and tear. We have the Dark Ages dropping really soon. Sooner than I think you guys realize. I think that the Doom guy is a match made in heaven for Mortal Kombat. I think with all the weapons in Doom, I think with him punching and ripping, it would probably be perfect. All the Photoshop images you see of Doomslayer in Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat 1, it's just like chef's kiss. It's perfect. So the music, everything is Mortal Kombat. Dude, I think Doomslayer, Doom guy is perfect. There you go. Number 2 is going to be Michael Myers. Realistically, that's probably my most wanted just because of how iconic Michael is. You guys saw how overwhelmingly over Jason was in that poll that we just showed you previously, like 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago. I think Michael Myers is probably going to be just as hype as Jason was back in Mortal Kombat X. I know the licensing rights are kind of a pain in the ass to figure out, but if they do manage to figure out how to get Michael, the very last prominent guest character from like horror movies that's not been featured in this game franchise, it's Michael. You gotta do it! If not now, when? Aren't they like finishing the recent reboot as well? So from like a cross-marketing aspect, man, you got the movies currently being made and developed. You gotta do it. So you got Michael, you got Doomslayer. I do think that I gave Killer Instinct characters enough love. Nemesis would be so cool, but it's never gonna happen. I think Xena would be really sick. I do think Sweet Tooth was a missed opportunity back in Mortal Kombat 9. Marcus, I almost want to click, but I know it's never going to happen. I could say the same for Akuma. Ryu would also be pretty cool to have, but again, I think Akuma is probably the better selection. You guys already do know I gotta select Ash Williams, though. If there was one thing that broke my heart in this whole field of covering Mortal Kombat, it was the fact that we had several different instances where trademarks were accidentally leaked on, like, press release stuff from Mortal Kombat 11. That all pointed to us getting Ash Williams. The Shang Tsung gameplay reveal trailer or whatever even had the chainsaw sound effect at the end of it. Like, they were teasing Ash Williams. The copyright was appearing in trailers for the Combat Pack. It all seemed like the stars aligned. I believe Jandy from NetherRealm Studios, when asked about why it didn't happen or if he was cut from the game last minute, he pretty much linked my videos talking about it, where I essentially pieced together that it was a copyright issue. I know it's probably still a copyright nightmare, just like Michael Myers, but if I could ever get my man Ash Williams in a Mortal Kombat game, dude, Bruce Campbell was made for Mortal Kombat. I wish it could happen. Don't forget all those videos of him being asked during, like, COVID about the whole situation. He just, like, shot it down over and over again. I'm getting PTSD thinking about that whole situation. That shit was horrible. It really killed my spirit, dude. That was tough. And knowing what I know now with Mortal Kombat 1, I think I would have honestly been okay with him being in Mortal Kombat 11. That was always like the consolation prize. It was like, at least he's not in a bad Mortal Kombat game like Mortal Kombat 11. That gameplay would have sucked. No, I would have actually probably played a lot more of Ash Williams than I have with any guest in this game. So, number 3 is going to be Ash Williams. Woo-wee! It's getting tough here. Okay. Now, this is something that I think is always mentioned because it's true. We do need some more woman representation, especially on the guest character side of things. It's hard to believe that we still haven't had a woman guest character in a Mortal Kombat game. So, out of all the options that I have here, and I honestly do think I did some justice for the ladies, do think Juliet Starling would probably be my choice. I mean, come on. She runs around with a chainsaw, a la Ash Williams, and slices zombies with her boyfriend's head, which is decapitated, on her waist. You know, you could say the Bride, you could say Xena, you could say Bayonetta, which is also a pretty badass chick, but for me, even Buffy, even Rain, I just think that Juliet Starling has like that campiness with like the gore and the blood of that game. I feel like it's a match made in heaven. That would be my personal choice. Will it ever happen? Probably not, but for me, that would be who I would select. Alright, so I have 2 more selections, and it's getting real. It's really tough to actually narrow this down, man. It really is. Because, though, I'm a sucker for horror characters, I kind of want to pick Chucky, and I kind of want to pick Pennywise. Honestly, it's a toss-up, but I'm probably going to select Pennywise just because I feel like Pennywise is more marketable, and I feel like from a gameplay standpoint, though Chucky would be more interesting because it would remind me a lot of like Yoda back in Soul Calibur 4. Everyone's this height, yet Yoda's to your knees, and still the hitbox worked out in some way. I think that would be interesting for Chucky. You could probably always have Chucky as a cameo fighter. It's something I've talked about ad nauseum here on the channel. But I think Pennywise, just transforming into all these different beings, because that's what he does. He transforms into like whoever he's facing off against is like arch, you know, scary nightmare or whatever. Like, can I English? I can't English. Transforms into the biggest nightmare of their opponent. I think that that's really cool. So I think the idea of seeing Pennywise, like, I don't know, if you're fighting against fucking Scorpion, you transform into Sub-Zero, and it's like, oh, you killed my family, obviously. Different characters this timeline and different origins, but I think there's a lot to be had with that. Almost like a Shang Tsung transformation thing. I think you could do a lot with Pennywise, so I think that would be kind of cool. Not to mention you could have like the OG one from way back in the day, and then you can have like the modernized one in terms of like skin options, so I think it would be pretty dope. Though Chucky would probably be a cooler thing to look at. So, you know what? I did it. I'm saying Chucky. Fuck it. There you go. Michael and Chucky, both as a super team. Let's do it. I almost had Pennywise, but I'm not going to. I could have both, but I'm not. I'm not going to oversaturate it here with horror characters. I feel like I already did that. So, that leaves me with one. Talk about a damn audible at the last second. You know what? If this is going to be like my dream, let's do it. Cliff Bleszinski confirmed we were going to get Marcus Phoenix on the Xbox 360 version of Mortal Kombat 9. It never happened, and because of that, I'm going to bitch about it forever. I want Marcus Phoenix. Let's vote. There you go. I made my 6 selections. Let's look at the results. Booyah! Michael, Doomslayer, Marcus, Ash, Juliet, and Chucky. That is my hypothetical selection for a Combat Pack 3 guest character. My 6 options. Be happy with either of those. And honestly, I think most of you guys would be too. But guys, that's all I got for y'all today. What do you think Ed Boon is cooking with all these weird random voting polls he's been doing on not just one site, but several? Do you think that maybe things are heating up and a Combat Pack 3 is on the horizon? Do you think this is for the next Mortal Kombat game, Injustice game? They're just grabbing data for that, and we're not getting a Combat Pack 3? Don't know, but obviously I'll have my voting poll linked down below. Go cast your votes. I'll probably do a deep dive into those results in a matter of days. You have 6 options you can select from, so go have fun with it. Spread the word. Select who you'd like to see. If I didn't have a character you wanted to see in the comment section of this video, be sure to let me know who I missed out on, because I do think I probably covered most of the bases. If I missed one, though, or two, I'm sorry. You know, it is what it is. I'm not perfect. I'm only human, but if you guys enjoyed the video, do me a solid. It takes you a second. Drop a like on it. Subscribe for some more MK content like this on the channel. Till next time, been your host, Dynasty. Yes, please take care. Stay safe. do think it's interesting. Vote for how much fun you had fighting as each guest character. Fun. The word fun. The word fun. Funny how when Boon asked about those changes we like to see, characters who need some love, he mentioned anything to make them more fun. But you're telling me there isn't a Combat Pack 3? I don't know, man. All of this is a little bit interesting, and it's kind of falling into place. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for still supporting your boy and watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
On it crack, but I'm not superstitious. Count all these racks, I'll be steady, count on my digits.